What's good, you guys? Today is going to be a very honest video. It's going to be a video dealing with my personal struggle that I feel like I have with discipline. And this video is going to be revolving more around my music side of discipline than anything else. It will kind of touch on other parts like my marriage and stuff like that, but it's mostly music that we're going to stick with. So I told you guys in a past video that I started making music in 2019. And I told you how like when I was first started making beats, I struggled to even finish a beat. Around that time, I think when I first started making beats seriously, I was still at a point where I was struggling to I was still in that era where I was making beats, and sometimes I would finish them and other times I wouldn't know how to complete a beat. Like my creativity would just go away from me. And around that time, I used to think to myself, I feel like it's just a me problem. Like maybe I'm not meant to be able to produce. Maybe other people that produce, they just got it and I just don't. But another thing I told you guys before, I used to watch a bunch of like self-improvement type videos. And I remember this one guy, Andy Frisella, he used to always say things like being consistent for a long period of time, doing something repetitive that you may not want to do, something that's hard. Eventually you'll get how to do it. You just got to continue at it, continue working at it, and you'll eventually learn how to do it. And that just kept being something that replayed in my head months and months and months until eventually it began to be a truth that rang inside of me 24/7. And for me, that was a big motivation to continue to push forward. And I realized that maybe for me, it's not that I don't have talent. Maybe it's something where it's like you haven't been consistent long enough and disciplined long enough to actually see the fruits come out yet. So right now, I would say my days, they're very up and down. Sometimes I have days where I'm very productive and sometimes I have days where I'm not productive. And I would say a non-productive day usually looks like, it starts the night before. It starts when I'm in my studio and I'm just watching YouTube late into the night. And because I go to bed late, I end up waking up late. And because I wake up late, my entire day is messed up because I end up feeling frustrated with myself. Like I have all this stuff I need to get done and I decided to sleep in. So then that frustrates me. And then because I'm frustrated, I decide, well, I might as well not even work today. And then I'll sit around and do nothing and watch YouTube. And then it's a cycle that constantly repeats. And then there's days where sometimes I don't even think about making music or making a YouTube video or doing housework. I don't think about that until I have to go pick up my daughter. And it's like, why do I decide to think about that then whenever I had all day to do stuff like that? Now my daughter's home and I should be spending time with her, asking her how her day was, helping her out with her homework. But instead, I'm trying to work. And then I feel like going through that, it makes me think of stuff like, you just waste time all day long. You say you want to be successful in what you do. You're being a failure, you're not doing enough, you're just wasting time. And I just feel like that just makes me feel guilty, which rightfully so, because it's true. Like if I'm sitting around and I'm doing nothing during the time where I'm supposed to be working, and then I decide I want to work after my daughter gets home, after my wife gets home, and then not give them time, yeah, I am in a way being a failure. I'm not using my time wisely. But me feeling that guilt, I feel like it makes me distance myself. It makes no sense because I don't know why I would distance myself whenever I'm already distancing myself because I'm working whenever I should be spending time with them. It's just the way my brain works, I guess. And I feel like this process has really shown me like where I am as a person. It's shown me that I was in the military 6 years. I was around disciplined people. I was disciplined myself. I had to be disciplined. But it showed me that even though I spent all that time in the military and I was disciplined, that if I didn't continue to use that discipline, it would just fade away, and then I would have to work it back up again. And I'm seeing that now, like if you don't remain disciplined, if you don't always keep yourself doing something difficult, even when you don't want to do it, eventually it's going to leave out of you, and then you're going to have to force yourself day after day to build that discipline back up to be able to do it. And as I sit here trying to have better days than the worst days that I have, I just think to myself, like, where could I be at if I was the same person that I was when I was in the military? If I had the same drive, if I had the same discipline and same self-control that I had when I was in the military, where would I be at in my music? Where would I be at with this YouTube channel? Where would I be at in my marriage? Where would I be at helping my church out? There's so many areas of my life where I'm just like, I'm behind only because I'm choosing my feelings over what I need to get done. And of course that creates pressure because I'm not being the best that I could possibly be. But at the same time, it also is a motivational point too, because it's like I'm the only person that's in the way of myself. I'm the only person that's in the way of my goals. I have goals, and the only reason why I haven't obtained those goals is because I haven't done the things that I need to do. But as you can see, it's just really a back and forth battle between doubt and confidence, doubt and confidence. And I find myself in that cycle constantly. And I would say now, knowing that, like, my only issue is trying to figure out why, as I'm still trying to become more disciplined, why is it still such a struggle? Like, this has been a struggle for me to be more disciplined for years now. I've been out the military since 22, and I feel like I've gotten slightly better. Things have gotten slightly better, but it's a very slow process, far slower than it was when I was in the military. I think some of it is just bad habits. Like I said, I'm always watching YouTube, and I think that is a bad habit that I've gotten myself in. Because I will say, when I got out the military, one of the first things I told myself is I want to give myself at least a year to just chill out. I was really drained from my time in the military. So I just wanted to give myself a year to just relax and not worry about anything. And I think that really messed me up. I shouldn't have gave myself that long. Realistically, I should have immediately got out and started doing something else. But the fact that I gave myself that long, I became a person that just became a habit of watching YouTube constantly. And I think that's really what got me into this point. I also thought about this too, that discipline and self-control are fruits of the spirit. Maybe it's just a thing of I haven't given it time, and I haven't given my spiritual life enough attention for the spirit to release those fruits inside of me. Of course, if you're prioritizing the word, you're prioritizing praying to God and building a relationship with him, the fruits of the spirit will begin to show. So a lot of times I think, well, maybe it's because I put as a priority my music and other things over time I need to spend with God. And that's what causes me to not see the fruits of discipline and self-control. And then again, I feel like another big part of it is I rely too much on how I feel. If I wake up and I'm like, today I don't really feel like making a beat. Today I don't feel like making a YouTube video. If I don't move without feeling it, I'm never going to see progress, because let's be real, I think most people those days don't feel like doing whatever they got to do. Most people don't feel like going to their 9 to 5, but they still get up and do it. So it's like I have to understand that I need to push past. And it's one of those things where it's difficult because I don't have a boss. I'm my own boss. So I have to tell myself to get up, even whenever I don't want to get up. I have to tell myself that, hey, you got to film this video when I don't want to film a video. I have to tell myself you have to make a beat when I don't feel like making a beat. And if I can just get past that also, along with prioritizing my spiritual life, I think I will also be a big help. But yeah, I think whenever struggle is trying to be disciplined with creating something by yourself, being your own boss and trying to create something, along with being a father, being a husband, being an ABL leader, trying to grow your spiritual life, all of these things being added into that, having family that you constantly want to be present with, having friends that you gotta make time for, just everything in life. It requires you to have structure, because if you don't have structure, there's no way to balance those. And to be honest, you can't balance life anyway. So if you can just structure it out to where in this season, I want to prioritize this, and this season I want to prioritize that, I think there's a better way to still kind of have like a balance. So if I'm looking at what I'm trying to do now, what I'm trying to change about myself, the things that I'm trying to structure in my life, I'm trying to watch a lot less YouTube videos instead of getting up and being like, I'm gonna watch one video and then get to work. If I just immediately don't even allow my brain to think, I just start working, I usually can find that I can focus a lot better. It takes a little bit of time initially, but the moment that I'm getting into the groove of things, I usually can stay focused and get through whatever I'm trying to get through. So that's one thing that I'm trying to add to my structure. Another thing I would say is probably going to bed on time. That's probably a big thing. And then structuring my day out, it would be like waking up 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, earlier than 11, 12. Waking up, doing prayer, reading the word, and then immediately getting into work. And I think that's a better structure in my day than trying to work in the afternoon. And it's something I feel like a lot of people are speaking out about that I'm starting to notice myself is the amount of negative content on social media, on YouTube, is draining. When you watch all that negative content, it makes you feel bad as a person. Like all you're thinking about all day is what's going on in politics, what's going on in the world, what's going on with drama that's happening, and you see people that's happening in people's lives. So this is something that I'm still working at. Hopefully, I continue to see progress in it, and I know I will as long as I'm not giving up. But yeah, it's definitely something that if I want to become the man that I want to be, I have to get better at. I have to continue to push myself forward, even when I don't want to. Even whenever there's distractions everywhere, when I have people telling me, hey, can you come do this? Hey, can you come do that? I have to prioritize. I have to have priorities, and I have to set boundaries so I can ensure that the things that I want to get done can get done. This is something that is really tough. Whenever you want to build a business for yourself, there will always be things that's going to come in to try to stop you from doing what you're supposed to do. And then the thing that I like to think back on is when you look at Jesus throughout the Bible, he even says it in the Bible. Can't you see I'm about my Father's business? Meaning that he always tried to stay focused on what his goal was in life, the thing that he was put on earth to do. He tried to stay focused on that. He didn't allow distractions to get in the way of what he had going for himself. So if there's anybody that's going through a time where distractions are getting in their way, they're struggling to be disciplined, one thing I would just say is just keep going, just keep trying. Every single day you wake up with the mindset of maybe I don't feel like doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I think if you constantly do that, you will see progress. Every day won't be a good day, but you will see far more better days than if you're giving into your feelings most of the time. And I want to reiterate, I'm not saying this as somebody who has figured it out. Again, I'm still learning this myself. This is one of those videos where I'm just venting, just talking to you guys as I'm trying to figure it out for myself. But yeah, guys, that's it. I just wanted to get on here and talk about my struggle that I've had with discipline as a person that's trying to build a business for myself. But yeah, peace out.